Good afternoon, fellow ruminators. Welcome back to another session, Rumination with Andrew. Thank you so much for joining as we are about to discuss a very important topical matter. And this afternoon, we are going to look at the fact that why I personally believe that the JLP will win the next general election in Jamaica. You know, it's very interesting that the parties seem to have flipped roles and they seem to have Andew Holness. He seems to have morphed into this formidable political leader that I think that Mark Golding is going to find very difficult to break him. It's almost like he is the P.J. Patterson. He has morphed into the P.J. Pattersons of the 1990s. Remember now that the PNP, under the stewardship, under the leadership of P.J. Patterson, was in office for 18 years, right? Because of his sort of, I'm not sure if he had charisma. I don't think that Patterson had charisma, but he had the astuteness. He had this political gift to communicate and to win elections, right? I think that he was an excellent publicist. And for that reason, he was able to win the elections. And, you know, also Patterson also inherited the legacy of the former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Michael Manley. So he was able to run also on that base. But he made the campaign his own when the mantle was given over to him. Now, before I continue, remember now to like and to share and to subscribe. For those of you who have not subscribed, what is it taking you? Why are you delaying subscribing? Hit the subscription button. It's free of cost. It will cost you nothing. So remember now to subscribe to Rumination with Andrew at the moment. So let's continue. Why I believe Prime Minister Andew Holness will win the next general elections. Now, let me just say here that Mark Golding, I am not suggesting that I am JLP. I'm neither JLP nor PNP. I vote for neither of the parties. I've never voted for in my life. So please do not think that I am promoting any of the parties in Jamaica. I'm just looking as a political analyst, as someone who analyzes very well and very keenly and deeply, profoundly the political landscape that operates in Jamaica. And based on what I am seeing, now remember now that politics is unpredictable and things can change. It's like the lottery, it's like winning the lottery, right? It can change tomorrow. The market indicators can change tomorrow, right? So I'm not suggesting that Andew Holness is going to win the election. I'm suggesting that based on what we are seeing at the present moment, that Mark Golding does not present himself as a formidable political opponent. That is my opinion. Now, it's not that it's a fact. This is an opinion that I am forwarding. Let's begin with Mark Golding. Mark Golding is the president and the oppositional leader of the People's National Party. Now, Mark Golding seems to be running on the platform, you know, that Jamaica needs a transformation and that we need to do things. Time come. But time comes for what? What is the time for? The PNP was in power for many years and they did not really do anything of great capacity, anything, you know, wonderful, fantastic to have lifted and raised the standard of living of the majority of Jamaicans. They did not. They might have achieved some little, policy decisions here and there, but I don't think that they actually transformed the Jamaican economy and transformed the social conditions of the majority or for the majority of our people in Jamaica. They have not, they did not. So let's be clear on that. And I don't want to see people now writing in the comment boxes that they did that and they did this. When you look at Jamaica, Jamaica has not really moved on that much since the 80s and the 90s. We're still in the decade, I would say, of the early 1980s. That's how backward we are as a society. Yes, we might have the internet and we might have certain modern conveniences, but the infrastructure of the island has not improved since the early 1980s. We've got to admit that. We've got to, apart from the highways, the few highways that we have spotting there, which, by the way, do not belong to us, and that's why we have to pay those astronomical tolls, right? Tolls, right? Is it tolls, right? Not tolls, but tolls. Right, we have to pay these high costs of maintaining those roads because they don't belong to us. And we've got to really come to grips with that, face that reality, which we don't like to face because I know that we don't like the truth as a people. Now, Mark Golding, in terms of his command of, I should say, English, second to none. You know, he is a great communicator in standard English. And he's not an excellent communicator, neither a good communicator in the use of the Jamaican dialect, which the majority of our people use. So he's not able to connect with them as much as Mr. Holness, Dr. Holness, is able to do. So hence there is a lot of, it doesn't come off when Mr. Golding speaks as if he's genuine, he's sincere. He might be, but in the eyes of the Jamaican electorate, he does not come off or will not come across as someone who is genuine, who understands their needs, even though Dr. Holness at this point in time might not be connected, but he's able to because he's also coming from the bowels of the working class. He knows the language, he knows their way of thinking, he knows their way of talking, the body language to use, the eye contacts to give, the hugs that he might be able to do, the dances, some of the dances. He might not be a dancer. Andew Holness is not a great dancer, but he's able to connect and do his moves. When Mark Golding speaks, and he uses the Jamaican dialect, he sounds very awkward. It doesn't sound like something is natural coming across as a natural person. Now, some of the detractors of Mark Golding might be saying, oh yeah, and that's why I told you that he's a British citizen. No, 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 no. Not all Jamaicans speak the Jamaican Creole. I had a teacher for many years who taught me, a Jamaican teacher who grew up in Jamaica, right? Who lived in Jamaica for most of her life. And she never used one word of the Creole. And she was just a lower middle class person. She was not coming from the elite class, but that is how she was grown up. She was never brought up. She was never raised to use the Jamaican lingo. So don't think that because, oh, Mark Golding is, yeah. And if you heard her speak, you would have thought that she was coming from England also. And she would not be able to connect with the majority of the Jamaican people because of her use of language, her use of the English language. So don't believe that because Mark Golding is not able to communicate fluently and also comfortably in the Jamaican dialect that he doesn't qualify to become Prime Minister. It's not that. What is the problem is that Jamaica really, if truth be told, has never uplifted its social standards. We have not educated our people in the way they should have been educated. If our populace was sophisticated, even though they could be bilingual, they would understand Mr. Golding, they would appreciate him, they would connect with him more than they are doing now or than they're able to do now. But because our society is unsophisticated, and many of our people prefer to be illiterate, then persons like Mr. Golding is not going to connect. And I'm sure is not connecting with the majority of the electorate, with the constituents of Jamaica. Another thing is that it doesn't appear to me that Mr. Golding is a natural politician. I don't think he is. He is a businessman. Right? First and foremost, he's a lawyer, he's a businessman, and you can see it in his persona. You can see it in his demeanor that he is not this politician who has the charisma, who has the dexterity to be able to be nimble on his feet as far as, you know, political gimmickries are concerned. Let's put it that way. He doesn't have these skills. We have to be honest with ourselves, just like Kamala was not a natural politician. She is a prosecutor first and foremost. And I'm sure that she would have shone as we saw her in the debates with Trump in that capacity, because she was actually playing that role in her debate against Trump. And that's why she won that debate. And she stood up with confidence and with security, right? And she actually laid it on Trump, right? She punched him in terms of her verbally and showed him that she was in command of that debate, acting in the capacity of a prosecutor. On the other hand, well, in the context of Jamaica, Mark Golding cannot operate as a lawyer as he traverses or on his campaign trails. He cannot operate, he cannot function in that capacity as a lawyer on the campaign trail. So he does not come across as a politician who's able to connect with the Jamaican population. And he has not yet learned that skill. I don't think he will learn it. I don't think at this stage that Mark Golding wants to learn that skill too. He's just playing a role. And I think people see him as just playing the role. A politician is always playing a role. Most of them, if not all of our politicians, are actors. They're not really real, right? They tell us and they make promises that they even know that they cannot accomplish. And they play that role, they act that role to deceive us. Mark Golding tries to act that role, but he doesn't have the competency. He doesn't have the gift of acting like a politician. He just has to act himself, which he cannot. So you see Mark Golding, for example, and he's dancing on the campaign trail, right? So let us look at Mark Golding here as he dances and he presents himself as what you call it now, an authentic, genuine Jamaican. He is an authentic Jamaican, but he's not a Jamaican of the working class, which the majority of our population really are, right? So we have to understand that that is a phase. Not that he's not authentically a Jamaican, he is, but he represents the minority class, Jamaicans in the minority. Educated, sophisticated, well-traveled, right? And this is not the Jamaica that Jamaicans desire. Jamaicans want this crudity and this coarseness and this vulgarity, right? That Mark Golding does not have. Now, let us look at Mark Golding putting down his dance. Right? So we can see that. We can see that Mark Golding is trying, right? He's trying his best to represent the Jamaican underclass, but he's not able to do so with the genuineness and with the natural abilities that would probably come from another candidate. And I think that what he needs to do, I never saw Michael Manley, as much as he was a charismatic leader trying to do what we're doing. I think there's just too much dancing and appealing to the lower class, the working class. And I'm not saying you should represent them, but you should also elevate them. And you can't just present what they see every day to them. You have to expose them to a higher way of thinking and to also a higher standard of living. And I think that Mark Golding is not able to do that, because with our electorate today in Jamaica, he's not going to be able to win doing that. But in trying to be like the working class and the people who belong to that class, he doesn't come off with any amount of credibility, right? He lacks the credibility that he needs to have to be able to connect with the Jamaican people. I don't think that he can, as Andew Holness is often able to do, right? Because obviously Andew class is coming, has emerged from a different class. He's not from the elite class. He's from the class that the majority of Jamaicans have emerged from. And that's why he's able to connect better with them. Not that he's going to be able to fulfill his promises. I think that that's to the contrary. I think a lot of the promises that Andew Holness is making, he's not going to be able to accomplish them, if the truth be told. However, we're talking about the capacity to connect with the masses, which he has, which Andew Holness has, which Mark Golding does not possess. Mark Golding is also like Andew Holness, because Andew Holness is doing the same thing. They speak in these very, what should I say now, broad, generalized terms. They just say that they're going to, for example, improve the economy. You know, how are you going to improve the economy? How are you going to build more hospitals? They're not telling us specifics and where the money and how these things will be done. They're just saying that they will be done. And Jamaicans have been hearing these things from the 1970s, that better must come. And every time they hear these grandiose words and promises by these politicians, by successive politicians, and nothing has been done, these promises have fallen flat, and hopes have been dashed, and our dreams have been deferred. Right? We have to understand that. We have to also begin to accept that our politicians are not the Santa Claus that they have projected themselves to be. Right? So we have to understand that. So Mark Golding needs to be able to tell the Jamaican people what will he be doing differently. And that is what Kamala Harris was able to say. How is he going to govern differently from Andew Holness government, a GLP government? How is he going to achieve that? He's not. He's only attacking the GLP's policies, as Kamala Harris did to Trump's policies, but she was not able to attack them with anything that is substantive. She did not present anything that was fresh and new, and she lost the election. So I think that Mark Golding needs to be able to convince Jamaica with cogent arguments how he's going to be able to chart a new course other than which the GLP is actually charting at the moment. Let us listen to him, Mark Golding, in his speech here at a press conference, in which he was addressing some of his concerns and what he would be doing as a leader if he wins the next election.
This government does not have the capacity to deliver the reforms required to achieve an efficient bureaucracy. And this is not a task that private sector bigwigs can be of much assistance with. The Pnp'S record of legislative capability, innovation, and nimbleness is what is needed to resume the process of making a bloated and cumbersome bureaucracy work for ordinary Jamaicans and Jamaican businesses. We will deliver for Jamaica. Aspire, as his new program is called, is just another PR exercise. It does not inspire and can only expire. The JLP government will continue to fail the people. Furthermore, this is a government without credibility to back up promises. 8 of their members of parliament, including the Prime Minister himself, are under investigation for the corruption offense of illicit enrichment. It is a blot on Jamaica's international image and reputation. No Prime Minister can lead the country with credibility when he remains under such a cloud when it comes to his own financial integrity. The promised reduction of the rate of general consumption tax on electricity will not impact the majority of JPS customers who consume less than 100 150 kilowatt hours per month of electricity and already benefit from the tax exemption introduced by the Portia Simpson Miller administration. In fact, the greater savings from the tax rate reduction will accrue to wealthier customers who consume more electricity. What is needed is strong and capable leadership to drive down electricity costs in Jamaica through a transformation of the energy sector. The PNP has a plan to achieve this and a shadow minister with a track record of achieving it. We will bring modern legislation as we've done before and massive investment to the energy sector. And for that, our record speaks for itself. The meager break in market fees for craft vendors does not address their plight.
Okay, so that is Mark Golding speaking at a press
system, and that the schools themselves
yeah, that is Mark Golding speaking at a press conference in Jamaica. Now, one of the things that came out at me, right, that struck me as I listened to Mark Golding, if you look at him, one, he lacks the charisma. Mark Golding is not somebody who has the charisma. I don't have charisma too, so I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying that as a politician, he doesn't have that charisma to connect with the Jamaican electorate. Another thing, as I watched him, he was reading. So that's another thing that he's not able to connecting. He's not even appearing to connect. Now, we are in the 21st century, and my God, I mean, can't they buy a teleprompter and use a teleprompter to have him look straight at the images, at the words, rather than reading like that? It doesn't look like he is connecting. He's just reading. As a result of that, the speech appeared to have come across as an empty speech, as a dead speech. And you have to make your speech come alive. Even when I'm speaking to you, I have to speak to the cameras. You're not there, right? But I have to pretend as if I'm speaking to someone and I'm having a dialogue with someone. And Mark Golding did not appear on that platform, at that press conference, as if he was connecting with the public, right? As with the listeners, with his audience. So he lacks that, and he has to work on that, because he comes off across as fake. Because if you're just going to read and there's nothing coming, it doesn't appear as if it's coming genuinely from your heart. When I speak to you on my videos, I'm speaking to you. The only thing I read from is if I'm reading newspapers, articles, or some a quote from a book or a paragraph or so. I have to read that. But when I'm speaking, there's nothing written here. I'm just speaking from my heart. And it will come across as more genuine, more sincere than how Mark Golding is actually there just reading from a paper. Right? I could see that Dr. Dayton Campbell, who was behind him, seemed to have been bored himself. He has to memorize what he wants to say. And even if it doesn't sound perfect, because a lot of times when I come here and I speak to you and I listen to myself, I say, wow, hear that grammatical error. I hear that mispronunciation of words, or whatever, I say, well, did you not pronounce that word accurately? Or you might have used an incorrect grammar, but you cannot look at that when you're speaking. The purpose is to connect with your audience. That's the most important thing. And as a culture in Jamaica, educated people tend to be very fake because we want everything to be perfect. We want our grammar to be perfect. We want our pronunciation to be perfect and everything to be perfect. It doesn't work like that. We are what? Erring beings, right? And so we're not perfect. We are imperfect creatures. So it's okay if Mark Golding makes his mistakes, right? But comes across as being genuine and natural, right? That is what he needs to work on, and he doesn't have. So his speeches are often dead because he needs to be able to connect, to have some ideas and some convictions. That's it, which leads me into another flaw of Mark Golding, that he does not speak with conviction. He's just speaking off the cuff. And he's just speaking the talking points of the PNP. And what he says, he's not bringing cogent arguments against what Andew Holness is doing, because he's talking about the Aspire program that the JLP is working on to build the infrastructure of Jamaica, to develop Jamaica at large. And he's criticizing it, but he's not telling us what is wrong with that program. What is wrong with it? You're just saying that it is not going to work. But you have to let the Jamaican people know, critique it to the core, and let them see that even if it's going to work, as a politician, you have to convince the opposing side that it's not going to work. Because that's the whole matter of what we call opposition. You're opposing. And that is what we need to stop doing, because we are also not building our democracy. We think we're building our democracy when we oppose, but it's not building democracy. The only time when we oppose is when something is wrong, we should oppose it. But if something is right, something is uplifting, we should not oppose it. We should seek to strengthen it. What we can do, we can look at its flaws, some of its flaws, because nothing is ever perfect or presented in a perfect manner. So we can look at the flaws and say that we would correct those flaws, but we ought not to decide to smash or to annihilate a policy or a policy strategy or suggestion or strategy that we think will work for the development of Jamaica, because our purpose or our position is to oppose. And that is what Jamaican does. And we come across as children, being petty children, and not adults who want to develop and to uplift the standard, to elevate the standard of living of Jamaicans. Right? So Mark Golding needs to speak much more comfortably, more confidently, which he doesn't have that sort of capacity to do. Now, he can do that when he's among his intellectuals, when he's functioning within his class. And as somebody who could, let us say he was an outsider critiquing the politicians, he could do that because the man is a bright man, right? But in terms of being a politician and wanting to win over the electorates, he's not convincing in that sense. Right? And I'm not suggesting that he has to speak the Creole. He has to be rough and crude and crass. Doesn't have to come across. Just be you, but be natural. Speak from the heart. Even when you're speaking in standard English, speak from the heart. Let the people know that you did not grow up speaking the Jamaican dialect. And people like to see when people are natural, even if they do not connect with you, but they are natural. This is who they are. And that is one of our strengths in Jamaica, that we have diversity of people and we have diversity of classes, social classes, economic classes, right? And Mark Golding did not grow up in that working class that I have grown up in, that people like Andew Holness have grown up in. So, but he doesn't need to be embarrassed about that, all right? Well, I don't think he's embarrassed, but he does not need to hide that. He just needs to just say that this is who I am. And there are a few words that you might be able to say in the Creole, and you say them. But don't always have to dance. Michael Manley, neither Edward Segar were on the campaign trail dancing all the time. And in recent times, all I'm seeing is this constant dancing. Because what is happening, people? These politicians don't have anything to say. So they have to mix it with lots of music and jolling and frolicking, just like Kamala Harris. She was empty. So she had to allow all of these, what you call it now, entertainers, these celebrities to promote her, because she had nothing of substance to say to, or to have said to, the American electorate. So I think that Mark Golding, if he really wants to win Andew Holness, because Andew Holness is in power now, and he is, whether you like him or not, he has mastered the political machinery in Jamaica. He knows it. He knows how it functions. I think he can also close his eyes and be a politician right now. 8 years in office, and he has mastered Jamaican politics and how he should conduct himself, how he should behave. And he has state funds behind him. Let's not forget that. He has state funds behind him. Now he's going to fix the roads. He's going to do many things with state funds, which will impress the people. And if he does what he says he's going to do and uses the money to do what he needs to do, I don't know if he will lose the election. There has to be some, what you call it now, something corruption charges. There will have to be some corruption charge that is really so strong to allow him. But the statutory declarations and all that, it has not been certified, and all these things that his Aspire program is not good, right? It's not going to allow Mark Golding to win, nor saying that he's racist because some of his members are racist against Mark Golding. These are the strategies. You can talk about these things, but they are not going to help you to win the election. Mark Golding needs he needs to study more who a politician is and what are the skills that are necessary, that are needed to function, to play that role of a politician, particularly in the context of Jamaica, which he has not yet learned, which he has not yet mastered. And I think, just like the Democratic Party, if the PNP does not look at the fact that Mark Golding, even though he won, technically speaking, his primary, he did win against Lisa Hanna and the other contestant, I think that he's not going to win the election the way in which he is carrying himself and the way in which he is connecting, the lack of connection with the Jamaican people. But I wish Mark Golding all the best. As I'm saying here, I'm just giving you a critique of what I see as a political commentator. But I don't think that it's not that I want him to lose or to win, right? It's just my unbiased, objective critique. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you would like and share and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so, that the videos can be shared with as many people on the platform. Also, be sure to turn on your post notifications that you can be updated, you can be notified as soon as a new video is published. All the best to you. See you in the next video. Hasta luego. Adios.